2.1. Let's go.
You let me know when I'm ready. All right. Hey, everybody. This is Tamika Grooms on Behance. Thank you so much for joining us for this live stream today. I have a special treat for you today for this figure drawing session that we do every Thursday night at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So if you've been following me for the past few weeks, you know that we've been using Line of Action, which is an online website that you can study and go through some really quick sessions to pretend as if you were in a live drawing session with live models. So you can do that online using Line of Action. But today I've pulled some images from the Line of Action website, and I have a guest here with me today. And his name is Wayman Humphrey, and he is the Mad Penciler online. Wayman, can you introduce yourself? Here's your new house.
Hey, what's up, y'all? So yeah, I'm Wayman Humphrey, and AKA TheMadd Penciler, all throughout the internets. Y'all can find me that way. So, yeah.
So Wayman is our first live guest. We've had a previous guest on before, but now we're in the CinaMaker studios and live on Behance. And so what we're doing today is we're going to go through some sketches. I think we have Dan, he's going to be able to pull up the images, and if not, then you'll be able to see what we're drawing on the screen. But so what we're going to do is I'll be asking Wayman a few questions, or should I call you the Mad Penciler?
Whatever you feel.
We're-
I'll answer to both.
Gotcha. We're gonna call him the Mad Penciler because I want you all to check him out on the internet and make sure you follow his work. Man, y'all. The reason why I asked him here today is because if you've been following my stream, I love drawing hands and feet, but I struggle drawing hands and feet. And Wayman has some tools that he's put together in the past, and I want him to talk about that as well. So let's go ahead and get started, and then I'll start asking him some questions, okay? All right, so Wayman, we have our image here.
Yes.
And we're going to be using the Sketchable app. And so we're starting at 1 minute, and I don't have my timer set, but I'm going to try my best to follow this without using a timer and the beep, beep, beep. Usually we have Line of Action that's hurrying us through the process. So we're going to do a few 1 minute sketches. I think we have about 10 of them set up. We'll see how it goes. I usually adjust the time for this stream, so we're starting a little bit behind, but we'll work it all out. So, all right, so we're starting our first image, and let's go ahead and go. So we're using the Sketchable app, and let's see here. Okay, Wayman's already off and running. All right, I don't even have my brushes pulled up. What are we doing? Okay, there we go. So 1 minute sketches are usually really fast, quick, and dirty. That's my disclaimer to tell you that this is not going to look like anything that you want to show anybody. But that's what.
Well, I think that's what you're just looking for, the gesture right now.
Mm-hmm.
There is no. It shouldn't look like a finished or a complete drawing at all. It should just be gesture, and then you just move on to the next one.
Yeah, yeah. I actually like doing the gesture drawings. Oh shoot, now I messed up. Because there's a lot more energy in it.
Mm-hmm.
All right, you ready for the next one?
Yeah.
So this is number 2.
Just kidding.
All right, so I'm going to give you 1 minute. Usually we've been doing 30-second poses, but we're going to do 1 minute starting off. And because I can't do 2 things at one time, I'm going to ask you the questions I have for you in a couple minutes. Just let me drop a little bit into this. And hopefully y'all are drawing along with us too. Even though we're in an online platform and everybody's using different tools, we're here to practice together. So we have people that are on the live stream from all over the world, because it is Behance, and that's the benefit of being in this type of community, is that we have community from all over the world. All right, so that's 1 minute. All right, ready for the next one. Number 3. And I think I'm going to get a new. Good?
Looking good.
Okay,
Everything's
all
good.
right, cool. All right, so number 3. So this one's got a little bit of foreshortening. So when you, I can't see your screen, but I'm going to look over your shoulder.
No, it's cool. When I look at these, because these are the minute ones, I'm just taking in as much information as I can. And I'm just looking at her spine, really, or their spine, whatever I'm drawing. I'm looking at the spine because that determines, for me, that line of action.
Gotcha.
It's movement. It's all of the above.
All right, that's the end for that one. I might be shortening it up a little bit, but all right, let's move on to the next one. So this one, she's compressed just a little bit. Well, not a little bit, a lot. And she also has more clothing on too.
And then I always start with the head.
Why?
And so to me, that's done as a quick gesture. I'm looking at her head and then her back curves.
Okay. Well, question though, like say if you were going to use this for something else.
Well, then I would start fleshing it out.
Okay.
Yeah, so I got her spine, and so I saved the other ones. If we turn this one off. Since we had a minute.
I'm giving you, hey, this is my show. I can do that however I want to.
Okay, cool. So that first one, I started with the head and drew the spine, and then I just start building off of that.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? And so if we were to, as we go, we'll get the 30 or
longer poses.
Longer, yeah. And then you could just start, adding more on to, like I said, just fleshing it out now. But
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Gotcha. So on that one, you're using more shapes.
Shapes for everything for me. Shapes. So I'm looking at this one here. If I go back to that one, y'all have to forgive me because I don't use Sketchable often, but I want to be proactive in what Dan told me to do. So for this one, I know we only had a minute, but I start with the head and her line of the gesture that's happening.
Let me go back so we can go ahead. Keep talking.
Well, you took it away.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought it was see. I couldn't see.
No, you good.
Okay,
My
gotcha.
bad. So, and now I just do shapes, like big, bulky shapes that tell the story or tell the picture. And so for me, that's like a box. This is like a triangle, and then I just start building off of that.
I see what you're saying.
Yeah.
Once we get to the hands and feet part, I know that's going to be even more important because I've seen your product that you have. All right, let's go to the next one. All right. So I was telling Dan in the last stream I think we had last week that I don't draw men enough. So I tend to be challenged more so with their bodies. But if you break it down in the exact same kind of way that you're talking about, talking about shapes, which I don't normally do, then that does make it a little bit easier.
Yeah, just a little. It gives you something to grow off of.
Yeah. Okay, so I want you to, now that we've dropped in a little bit, I want you to go ahead. Oh my goodness. Tell us about yourself. Tell us what you do. And yeah, whatever you want to share. Share your whole story, like right now on the table. No, but for real, what type of work do you do? I know you're an artist.
So I am actually a full-time tattoo artist. I work at Apocalypse Tattoo here in Buckhead.
Okay.
And What else?
Can you tell us about the Blue project, the Blue Lines project too?
Yes and no. I really hadn't messed with that in a minute, just because tattoo is a lot of work. Like, you know, you got to prep and be ready for the appointments and start emailing clients back and forth. So there's a lot of work prior to just tattooing, and then the actual tattoo takes so much energy and drains me pretty good throughout the day. But the Blue Lines project, I had started that a while back, and that was more or less just almost kind of like Artist King. You know, everyone just comes together, you kind of do whatever you do art-wise. And it was just a project type thing where people could share their work, share what they do, and then we could just motivate each other. You know, that was pretty much it.
Gotcha.
So,
Okay.
But so I'll start with from SCAD and to now. So I went to school at SCAD, and I graduated in animation. After that, I worked on a couple films. I didn't, not that I didn't, you know, you got the, I got to really do some cool projects and stuff like that, but it just wasn't for me. Like it felt more corporate than what I wanted it to be. So after that, I kind of just was hanging out, wondering what I'm gonna do next. And I think I seen Dan post something. He was looking for an intern. And once I seen him post that, I hit him up and he was like, yeah, come on and hang out. So hung out for a little bit, got to know what Dan was doing. Really, I had known Dan prior to this, but you know, really started understanding what he was doing as, you know, a working artist, and I was hooked immediately. And so we were doing just a lot of, you know, projects together, I guess. You know, he would be the main one getting the projects, but I'd help him as an intern.
Yeah.
And I ran with Dan really hard for about 2-3 years. Dan, what you say? About 2 years. And while I was interning with him, I just asked him, I was like, hey man, teach me how to tattoo. He taught me how to tattoo, and the rest was history. Yeah. I love tattooing. So.
And your work is phenomenal.
Thank
It
you.
really
Thank
is.
you.
Some of the stuff I see you post, I'm like, man, I need a tattoo right now. I got some body parts I need to finish off.
No, whatever. But you know, it was, I think, in everyone that sees my art compared to my tattoos, they're like, you know, your artwork transitions really well into tattooing. So,
Absolutely.
Yeah, it was just almost, I don't want to say a no-brainer, but.
So, so tell me how, because I feel like you have really mastered anatomy, and that's part of why I wanted you to come here today. How do you feel like anatomy and your knowledge of how to draw the human body, how is that informing your tattooing business now, or your tattooing art?
I think it just depends, right? Because at this point, yes, I'm doing some anatomy stuff, but tattooing is just a different beast, if you will. So some of the techniques that I use for drawing, I use when I tattoo, but it's still different. I don't know any other word to say, but it's a little different than bringing them skills. Because sometimes I won't do any anatomy stuff, you know what I'm saying, when I'm tattooing.
That's true, I get it.
But when I have the opportunity, it's usually not a full, like what we're doing now. You know what I'm saying?
It might be a face
Yeah,
or some
yeah.
other
So
body
yes,
part. Yeah.
anatomy as far as the head and hands play, but as far as like the full figures and stuff like that, you typically don't do too many of those when you're tattooing. So
Yeah. But on the flip side of that, your use of line is very exquisite, I think. So I'm going to segue into a different question. Tell me about your favorite tools.
pencil
Pencil.
and paper. Just, and it could be, you know, I get asked a lot, you know, what pencils, what this. I don't care what it is. I think me and Dan were talking about this a while back. It could be a crayon, it could be charcoal, it could be feather with blood in it. I don't care.
That would be interesting. Anything.
Yeah,
because it's not about the tool.
No, it's about practice and, you know, making it work. But right off the rip, yeah, my favorite would be pen and paper.
So just plain old number 2 pencil? Or do you have like a fancy
plain old number
$10 pencil? Or,
I have all that stuff.
Okay.
For me, Pentel makes a really decent pencil. And yes, like I said, I do have all that stuff. But yeah, for right now, what I carry in my bag is a Pentel, just a regular mechanical pencil, nothing special. And yeah, and some good paper with tooth on it that grabs the pencil.
Gotcha. Okay. So I have a different kind of question.
What's your favorite?
Oh, what's my favorite? My favorite tools. You know what? Honestly, now digital.
Okay.
Yeah, I use it so much now. I'm contemplating whether or not I'm going to keep a lot of my traditional stuff. Sometimes I miss doing traditional because of the hands-on feeling that I get from being in paint and, you know, just the tactile part of it. But I'm using digital so much now, and I'm kind of interested in how can I get that same, not necessarily experience as an artist, but experience from the viewer.
Gotcha.
In the digital medium. So right now, yeah, I kind of say the digital is my favorite.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think the only thing I like, well, I do like digital too, but probably what would push it right up there close is the undo button. You know what I'm saying? And then the resize.
Yes.
You know, so like, you know, if I draw a head too big here,
Yeah.
I can just select that head and shrink it a little bit. Or
That part.
some people say that's cheating, right? And I get it.
That's efficiency. Not cheating.
But that and the undo button is probably some of the best stuff for me.
I got to add one more to that, though. The ability to zoom in and out on digital stuff. Like,
I mean, I'll be drawing sometimes on paper and I'll find myself pinching.
Yeah.
And I'm like, wait a minute, I can't do
you
that.
can't do that. That's not possible in the real world. So, but yeah, you never know what they may come up with at some point. Who knows? But anyway, so I have a different question. Now, I already knew I was going to ask you some questions that were art related, but unfortunately, we're not able to get on the Discord right now. But one of the conversations we always have in the Discord, which is great because we get to talk to people from everywhere and see what everyone's ideas are around different topics, is movies. And I'm not a big movie buff. I don't watch a lot of movies.
That's a shame.
I know, it is a shame. But I grew up like a latchkey kid, and so I watched way too much TV then. And so now as an adult, I don't want to watch very much at all. And I got other stuff going on, like art and, you know, children and whatever, you know. So, so there's just other things that are taking up TV time.
Got you.
And I tend to watch the same things over and over again. So my question to you is, because I'm always looking for something new to watch, and, or even if it's 10 years old, do you have a favorite movie that you would recommend to anybody, and tell us why? And then I'm going to switch this image because I think we need to switch to hands and feet.
Cool. So yes, I do have a favorite movie. I probably got a couple favorite top 3 to 5 movies or something, but and I literally just watched this maybe a week ago or something, and it's The Pianist.
I haven't seen that. Surprise. The Pianist.
I wouldn't doubt it.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's one of my favorites. To where it's written well. You know, if you look at Clueless now, it still holds up from when it came out in
20 years ago.
almost 20 years, yeah. And it still holds up really well. The writing, everything, you know, people are still quoting lines from that movie. So it's just, you know, and then Star Wars, I mean, I just, you know.
Okay. Yeah, I'm sure the Discord, they probably have lots of ideas. Are they chatting in the Behance too? I'm kind of curious. Yeah.
We got some tons of comments.
Okay. What are they talking about in the Behance? We're gonna switch this one.
Of course you are.
And Dan, I think we're getting ready to switch to. Let's go ahead and go to maybe 2 minute, maybe. Let's break these down, because I want you to talk about hands and feet and the anatomy of that. But if there's something going on in the Behance, let's talk about that too. Okay.
Let me do one last thing.
Okay. All right. So let's switch over to doing a couple minutes on these hands and feet, and then we'll go to one probably 20-minute last one. Okay.
Okay.
All right, so we have a hand here. We got some crunching of the hand fingers.
Okay.
My words are exquisite, man.
No, I got you.
You gotta get to. You know what I meant.
Yeah.
But the crunching and the gripping. Thank you. That word, gripping of. I already told you. I warned you ahead of time. These words don't come out of my mouth.
The crunching.
The gripping of the fingers, the hands. Okay.
The curling.
Actually, what it looks like the color purple. When she said, "Until you do right by me." That's what it reminds me of. But anyway, okay. So talk us through, and I want you to talk about your book too. But talk us through.
Okay.
What you're seeing here.
Shapes. All the time. Just shapes. I remember when me and Dan, we went to, and I think Aisha was with us too, and their daughter. We went to this gallery, and it was just random people in there. I forgot what it was, but I was like, you know what? I'm going to teach people how to draw hands very easy, right? And I was sitting down with them, and then I had Aisha do it. Dan already knows how to draw hands, even though he could be better. But
he didn't hear
nah,
that.
he did.
You'll hear it later, though.
And I just sat there, and I wanted to make it, one, very easy for artists to be able to get better at hands, but two, for anybody to draw hands, right? And so I was like, there's 2 to 3 shapes, and then you just start fleshing out.
Okay. So what I've already started doing is my really weird version of this hand.
Mm-hmm.
So I want you to course correct what I've already
So
done.
you started with the first one, is the palm, right? So I'm looking at, I'm looking at the whole thing, but I'm looking at just the palm of the hand. And you had it right. You know, it's kind of like a weird, oddly shaped square, kind of perspective-y, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
And then so now I'm looking at the fingers and what type of shape they make. So instead of doing both of the fingers, I do all the fingers at once, right? So now I'm looking at just that block.
Okay.
And then the thumb makes its own little block.
Gotcha.
I put the wrist on just for me so I can see what's happening. And if you look at the picture and you could see it starting to form, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so now I just flesh out the fingers.
So the thing on this one, though, is that because it's gripping, there's 2 fingers that are being hidden in there, and it's like your brain wants to show everything, but you know, like all of us, we know that you don't show everything.
Right.
You know, when people stand and move in the world, you don't see every part of their body. So
because stuff is hidden, it's kind of, we got some foreshortening happening and all that stuff. And that's just with practice. You know, it'll take time to train your brain to be like, oh, we can't see all that. And I don't need to draw all of that. If I don't see it, I don't need to draw it.
So I'm a part of SCBWI, and that's the Society of Children's Book Writers and Illustrators. And so I get an opportunity to see lots of arts at all levels. And I know where I'm reaching towards, but I've seen everything. And one of the things that art directors and publishers always say they want to know is, can an artist draw hands? So that's why it was so important for me to do this live stream with you today, so that you could say that, exactly what you said, about how to break it down into shapes and figuring out what's important to show and what not to show.
Right. And also, people will get caught up on wanting to show every little crinkle and line. You don't need to do all that. Unless, for me, this is just, which camera? This one? Pay attention. This this is just for me, and my way of doing it. There's tons of other books that are out there. There's tons of other tutorials, but I feel like you don't need to do all the little wrinkles unless the person is an old person and that's what you're trying to convey. But straight lines will get the job done. I'm talking with my hands now. We use them to talk, and you just need to show the gesture of what's happening with the hand.
Because it's more about the expression of the hands. Because they communicate. Like I'm talking with my hands too.
Yeah.
They communicate too.
They do.
So,
And then if it's like a alien or some other creature, then you want to show all the detail and the crinkles and all that stuff. But if we're just focusing on human hands, that's enough. And I'll put just enough information, like that little line indicates to me that there's a knuckle right there.
Yeah. So we're going to talk about knuckles. Knuckles jack me up every time. Especially like if you look at this one, the 2 fingers, the way they're set, they almost look even. So you're not getting that middle finger really is longer than your pointer finger.
Well, the middle finger in reality is longer.
Correct.
But this one is longer.
Yeah.
Right? So if we
measure, if you were actually measuring.
Yeah. And so that's another thing I do when I draw anything. I create these imaginary lines for everything. So I'm looking at this. I'm looking at how far that part comes to his wrist where it cuts off there. I'm looking at this line, what knuckle lines up with that. All that information is...
Yeah.
I'm looking at that and I'm trying to copy it to...
And you know why you see that, right? It's because you've drawn it so much. You've drawn so much. So much practice has gone into it that you see those construction lines automatically, where somebody who's just beginning...
People always ask about proportions, whether it's hands to head and to the body. Those lines help with proportion too, right? So if you got his hand and it's connected to, I don't know, the rest of his body over here, wherever is over here, again, that imaginary line comes all the way over here. What is it touching over here? You know, what is that one touching here?
Yeah.
And so now you're starting to get everything compressed or bigger or whatever it needs to be in proportion, if you will.
And then, like, too, if you were drawing the hands, and I think we may be saying the exact same thing, but the hand has a certain proportion to the head.
Right.
And then the head has a certain proportion
Yeah,
to each part of the body, so.
If we take my hat off and I stretch my hand from the bottom of my chin to the top of my forehead, everyone's hand should be typically as big as their face. So now when you're drawing, if your hands look like they're too big or the head is too small, you can make those two similar size and you should be kind of going back on the right track.
Yeah.
So.
That's and I'm going to go ahead and switch the thing. But that's why I like doing anatomy is it's mathematical. There's science behind it, and I'm a science technology girl, so there's science and math behind it, and so although I like the creative aspect of expression and storytelling, there's a part of my brain that wants things to be concrete and solid and exact. But that's just me. You know, not everybody draws like that, and some people may not have the. Well, let me back up. I think everybody has the need to understand anatomy, but not everybody has to use it in their art in the same way. So, but I think it's important to learn the basics of anatomy to be able to render appropriately. So, see, I know big words.
I knew you had it in you. I knew you had it in. Whole foot first for a little bit, and then I use just the actual padding here, like the actual foot itself, and then I break that down, and I break it down to the feet. Everything is shapes. To the toes, I mean, I'm sorry.
So this image, I chose some challenging ones on purpose, ones that you don't normally see. Like you can't get this in a live figure drawing session because you can't get a model to stand up, you know, and hop off the ground like this. But I think it's important to do this angle of a foot so that you understand what a foot looks like from the underside too. Right. Because there's a heel here. There's the Achilles tendon and all these parts of the ankle. Like the inside of the ankle bone is higher than the outside. Right. So there's all different kinds of shapes and details, and even if you don't show them in your drawing, it's important to understand where they are. Right. And how shadow and light hits. So we didn't talk about light and shadow.
I think that's another.
That's a whole nother.
Live session.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, and because now you get talking about light source, and you know you can have two light sources, one light source. So it's a lot with shadows, and so at this point we just concentrate on what this one is making for us. But yeah, it's the same, you know, shapes for me. Shape.
We're gonna address some comments.
Okay.
Let's address a few comments here. All right, let me turn me up. We got some comments that we're gonna check on here. Personification says with proper anatomy, you could actually execute some pretty good exaggerated characters, like in Street Fighter. The exaggerated feet and hands for combat. You learn how far to bend it.
Yeah, you got to know the rules.
Yeah. There's Christine said the whole crew is here. We got Bree, Christine, personification, hanging out here in the stream. And
What up, Bree?
yeah.
Hey, everybody. Y'all always know I say hey.
Okay. Christine says, I'm finally going to get a chance to see your stream.
Yay.
Yeah. Kelsey Jackson says hello.
Kelsey!
What?
Yes.
Oh, the baby.
Uh-huh.
The little babies.
We got
out
cool
here.
folks tuning in. Camila, Deanna, Bree,
What up,
Missy,
Deanna?
Alan Lewis, of course, Kelsey, Kalis, personification, Christine. We got a cool folks all up in the Behance.
Nice. Thank y'all for being on the live stream with us tonight. It means a lot because I feel y'all's energy all the way on the other side of the screen.
Somebody asked, how dang it in there?
The man.
Okay, so I asked about light and shadow because I knew this one had it. I'm gonna peep over at your. I'll see you showing out. No, that looks really good though, and you know what? I like that you're using. It looks like ballpoint pen.
Pencil. Just like even when I'm doing digital, I make it a blue pencil. That's who I am.
I like it.
So and I just started, and so if I redline this stuff, let's see. I started with this shape. And that's one. And then I started it's all blocks for me. 2. And then 3 is the flesh out, right? And you just start, having good reference like you got here, and then just fleshing out. It's 3 steps for me. But one, slow down. This don't need to be done in a day. I just do it because I do it so much. It's a muscle memory for me now. I see some feet like, okay, cool.
Yeah.
Or some hands. Man, I'm telling you, I used to hide hands. They'd be in pockets. They'd be in the back of the hair, kind of behind, like, and again, we talk with our hands so much, like, they speak. You don't even have to say nothing. And you'd be like, oh, hey, sign language.
Yeah.
So I just knew I needed to really work on my hands. I was talking to my sister a while back about it, and she was like, man, I remember you used to jack some hands up. And I was like,
We all do at some point.
I kind of got offended, though. I was like, I ain't jack no hand. And I did.
She didn't tell you that back then, though, did she?
No.
Yeah.
But she knew. It's growth.
Yeah.
That's all.
So how did you practice, though? Like, did you?
I would challenge people on Instagram. So if I drew 500 hands, hopefully somebody would match my 500 hands. If not, they would get close. Okay. I made sure I was doing 500 hands.
Nice.
500 left, 500 right.
Nice.
Then the next weekend, I'd be like, hey, let's challenge. I mean, you can scroll through there. It's kind of down there at not when I first started Instagram, but it's buried way down in there. But
so it's almost like the 1,000-hour rule.
Yeah.
You put that time in.
Yeah.
500 on the right, 500 on the left. You got your 1,000, and now
and
you know how
then
to
you
draw
do it
in.
again.
Yeah.
And then you do it again. And then draw another 1,000. And then challenge somebody else. Be like, yo, you want to get in on this challenge? Matter of fact, we should run one this weekend.
Yeah.
What up, shouty?
Yeah.
What?
Are you talking about for real? Like,
yeah.
I think
got
we
all your
should,
people
shoot.
out here. You know what I'm saying?
I think we should. I know I need it. I don't know about other people, but.
So Dan, if you don't mind sending an email to me or something so I can remember.
Oh, dang.
We're going to get Dan on this. Yeah.
He's serious. Hands and feet challenge.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, 500.
All right. We're going to stream it?
We don't need this. Nah, just post it.
Hey.
All right. Stick figures.
Nah, ain't no stick figures. And it don't have to be like really elaborate.
Yeah.
But just.
Mine are going to be wrinkly.
You draw wrinkly feet and hands.
I draw shoes.
Oh, then you don't have to draw feet and hands. I hear you.
Flat foot.
All right, so let's do one last drawing.
Okay.
We'll make this one a little bit
Let's
longer.
do some hands.
Okay, let's do some hands. That's what I was
Let's find a good complicated one.
That's not complicated.
Nah.
Oh hell. Excuse me.
So these are complicated. Whenever you
Okay.
have foreshortening happening,
Yeah.
I mean, even I'd be like, ooh, is there any way I could change this position?
Okay.
Right? For me. You know, I don't know. But yeah, that's a good one.
Okay, well let's do this one then. Do you want to try this one or we?
Yeah.
Because I got a lot of them.
What's the time limit on that? 10 minutes, 5 minutes?
Let's do. Can we do 10?
We got all that on that. Yeah,
Okay,
I just
well-
wanted to make it a real challenge.
Let's do 10. Let's do 10. And if it goes to 15, because I want him to talk a little bit about your book.
Okay.
And I do have 2 more questions for you. So,
Oh, boy.
so I want to make sure I have enough time for you to
Got
fit
you.
all
Yeah,
that in.
yeah, for sure.
Okay, so tell us about your book. I'm going to go ahead and start drawing, and we'll chit chat.
Okay. So, first of all, what are you? We got 10 minutes.
Okay.
Look at it for about
Okay.
30 seconds or so.
So what I see is a kind of almost triangular shape, but maybe it's, what is that, a rhombus? Trapezoid, whatever that is.
Yeah. So,
So-
you're looking at like this right here, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
So, so wider on this,
Mm-hmm.
whatever side left.
And so now, his fingers make up that box, right? So the way I teach it is, you want to just draw the palm. But now his fingers, because they're leaned in and they're facing us, they're taking up a lot of that palm space, right? So his palm is under that finger. You know, the palm kind of is right here, and now we got fingers in the way,
Right.
and so yeah, just take all that information in, and then lean in a little bit.
So step 1, the shape.
Mm-hmm.
So what I'm seeing is somewhat triangular, but maybe.
And do you draw dark like that all the time, or do you sketch?
I don't.
When you,
I don't usually draw this.
so why are we doing it? Why
'Cause
are we doing it?
Because I grabbed the first thing in here that I saw. That's why. And you know what? To be honest, usually I do blue because I've been
See?
drawing with y'all for so long. So let's just, since I have time.
Yeah,
to
we got
slow
10
down
minutes.
a little bit.
Slow down and let's get it
Slow down.
together.
Let me take a deep breath.
Mm-hmm.
Let me make it a little more accurate to where I was.
You do at home.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So back up just a little bit.
While you guys are starting to sketch, I'm going to tell you about Diana and Camila. I think they're related. This said, shout out to my mom, Diana Adams, for telling me about the class. So you got a mom and daughter team
Nice.
checking out the class.
what's up.
Christine says, these kinds of challenges are great for intentional study. Helps keep you motivated, too. So that's pretty cool. Kelsey says, I got a book suggestion. If you haven't heard of this book, then check out The Morpho, Anatomy for Artists by Michael Luricella. The Hands and Feet book is good as well as the rest of the series.
Okay.
All right, there you
Kels.
go. Okay.
Thank you, Kelsey.
Thank you. So my ebook,
Yes.
you can just go to Instagram and follow me there at TheMadd Penciler. That's with 2 D's. And there's a link. Just click the link and it'll take you to ebook.
And the name of it?
How to Draw Hands and Feet.
Boom.
Boom.
Yes. How to draw hands and feet.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah. Cop it. if you practice with it and use it, send me some pictures, tag me on Instagram or whatever. I always like to see what people do and watch them grow. And I don't mind helping. You know, if somebody needs some help, hit me up, man.
So I noticed on your website that you also teach as well, periodically. Okay.
Sometimes I do.
Okay.
Again, if I have the time, I'm again. I'm pivoting a little bit.
I see.
And if I can fit it in, and I typically will let someone know. You know, I don't want to just brush anybody off, but so yeah, I'll do some helping, and with my Patreon people probably more than anything, because they have access to me.
That part.
I mean, that's that part, right? So yeah.
Okay.
You know.
Okay. I want you to give your
Okay,
socials.
I see you over there with the little sketchy
Well,
joint.
my method's a little different, and I don't have a science behind my method. I usually just start and see where it lands. So that's not a surefire way of getting what I want. So that's why I need to practice.
Step in the right direction.
Right,
Yes,
right. There you
yes.
go, Dan. That's what I meant.
Okay, so I'll have time for you to give all your socials at the end, and they should be able to also see it on our
Right.
live stream too. So make sure y'all go out and check out his
I mean, it's
website.
the Mad Penciler everywhere, except for website is Wayman Humphrey.
Cool. Okay, so I have an off-the-wall question for you.
All right.
So, a lot has changed in the past year, and I know I wish I could predict the future, but I can't. I think I do have some superpowers, but we're not going to talk about that today. But I would like to know, if you could predict the future for yourself, what would it be? It could be any amount of time. It could be 30 minutes from now, which I'm sure you pretty much know what you're going to do, or it could be down the road, or and also, so predict for yourself whatever amount of time that you want, and then predict for the world what you think is coming down the line for everyone.
For the world, zombies.
Zombies.
Yeah.
Oh, don't. I ain't ready. Why?
I mean, I literally have my bug out bag and everything ready. So, I don't know, man. I feel like, you know, and we joke about this and you hear conspiracy theories. I'm a huge conspiracist, if that's the right word. It's something like that. But I love a good conspiracy theory. And so there's the planes that chemtrails. Have you heard of that?
Yeah.
So that coupled with, it could even be like the COVID shot and other things, I feel like something is going to be a really serious outbreak. And zombies is coming, man. Yeah. I'm telling you. You got to be ready.
You know, the CDC has, and I went and looked it up because I get like messages and emails about COVID and all these things. But I saw one, and it said that the CDC had some sort of zombie thing on their thing, and I was like, why does the CDC have a zombie apocalypse option? You know?
I'm telling you,
and
man.
they said that it was for educational purposes.
Right.
But that's not something you play with.
Nope.
You know? Either it is or it isn't. And you're a government agency, so why would you put that out there for people to even question? So
they know. It's a little bit of fear plus a little bit of, like Dan said, they know something ain't right in the water, man. As far as myself, you know what? I don't know. I would just say let it ride, man. I don't know, honestly. Shoot. I might not make it home from here right up the street. You know what I'm saying? So I think for me, I look at that type of stuff a little more serious, maybe. You know, like, because I don't know if I'm going to make it to the next. And then, you know, with stuff, the way things are now, shoot, I get pulled over and not make it. So I don't know for me.
Yeah. So, so I will share this. So I'm a military brat. And when I was in a corporate environment, years ago, I started talking about, like, I think when 9/11 happened, I started talking about, you know, being prepared for disasters. And I grew up in that environment. Like, growing up on a military base, we went through drills. You know, not just tornado drills, but drills.
Right.
Like, you had to be ready for stuff. And growing up as a kid, that was not unfamiliar to me. My brothers were in the Boy Scouts. I did Girl Scouts. So we did outdoorsy things and, you know, considered how to live. Right.
How to survive.
How to survive beyond the comfort of your home.
Right.
And so I've always thought like that. And I think with the chain of events that have happened over the past 20 years, my brain has even shifted more that way. Especially I have children to concern myself with now too. So how do I make sure that they're good?
Prepared and ready to go? And
So the reason why I asked this question is because last year, before this Panini thing happened, 3 weeks, you know, watching the news, I was paying attention to what was happening. I was like, okay, toilet paper, canned goods. I was ready. I was ready. So, and I don't want to, you know, make light of it that, you know, other people weren't, but it's kind of like the way you should be anyway.
Right.
You should have at least the basics for a few days. So you're predicting
His parents stay way out up north Georgia, somewhere in the mountains, and so that's our rally location. When I'm not playing, man.
Yep.
I want to hop in real quick and say that we got somebody is drawing hands in the Discord right now.
What?
Javan Town. You know this person? Javon Town. He's got what app is he using? I can't tell. Oh, it's Affinity Designer.
Nice.
And got the red sketch, and then the darker color to clean up the sketch. Looking pretty good.
Cool.
That's what's up. Draw them, bruh.
Yeah. Draw them. Don't hide them. Okay. So you answered that question. This is okay. I think with some more work, I could kind of get it. I feel like this thumb is doing something weird, but it's like you know what I noticed? My thumbs so don't laugh. That's not funny. Don't do that.
You immediately was like, my thumbs.
My
and
thumbs.
They just...
So they say this is a sign of highly creative person when the thumb bends back like this.
Interesting.
Let me see your thumbs. Yours bend back. Let me see yours.
I guess
Just,
they are.
yeah, just not as extreme as mine.
Yeah.
Oh, like the tip. Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
The tip
see?
it is turned off.
Yeah. So when I draw thumbs, I tend to draw
Mines
them.
don't. Yeah, it's just normal.
Okay, nah.
You got a normal
That's the
thumb.
Army
That's-
experiment.
yeah, it's gone wrong.
Hey, don't do that. Don't do that. But yeah, so I'm always paying attention to thumbs and how, how hyperextended they are or not.
Right.
So
Yeah, I do notice people's hands. Some people's like their fingers are real thin. It's like, how do you do anything
With those little
Yeah.
fingers.
Yep. Okay, so I think we're just about at the end of the stream.
Yeah.
Okay, and we're looking good on the Behance chats.
Yep.
Okay.
Everybody's chilling. Got 10 thumbs up. 15 people watching. 39 have turned in.
Perfect.
Yep.
Cool.
Okay, so I think we're gonna wrap this up. I do want you to tell us one more time where they can find out about your work, and yeah.
The Mad Penciler, man.
Okay.
2 Ds. Everywhere on the internet. Just Google it. I'll pop up.
That's because you're really out there like that.
I'm
too.
really out there. It's because of that dude. I'm telling you.
Yeah.
I and every time I'm sitting doing live or interviewed or anything, he comes up, man.
Yeah.
I can't help but not say his name.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? He just been him and his wife, man. They just been a real instrument in getting me to see things differently. First of all, but pushing me and just great mentors.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, they sowed good seeds.
oh yeah. They
Yeah.
and I was just telling you could take someone to the lake, but you can't make them drink it. He'll tell me to do something or whatever, and they only tell me twice. After that it's just like
You don't want to do it.
that or I don't want to do it. If I can't do it, I'll express it to him and will guide another way to do it. But there's no need in keep harping on it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Either you want to or you don't.
Yeah.
Yeah. And there's a lot of artists out there that say they want this art life, but man, you got to go get it. You got to go get this art life if you want it. So, yeah, I'm glad to see you getting it.
Yeah, the Mad Penciler everywhere. 2 Ds.
Okay.
And that's
Cool.
mainly Instagram though. That's where I hang out a lot. But.
So before we go, because this is like something I like to do, if you can kind of scroll back through some of the images that we started with, just if you're working in layers, I'm doing pages. Just kind of scroll back through some of the images that you did.
Okay.
And just on this live stream, because what I like for people to see is how at the very beginning we're very less defined.
Right.
And then as we go, as we warm up and as we really kind of understand which way we're going, the drawings tend to get more refined over time. So I just like for people to see that and not get too caught up on the process of sketching and drawing, but just to really go through the process.
If I can get these layers to work right.
Oh, it's not working.
It is, but
Okay. It's all good.
It's got the wrong thumb on it.
it ain't the right thumb, man.
He needs a thumb like mine.
Right.
It's all
What are you
good.
trying to do? You gotta
It's okay.
click on the 2 little arrows on the top of that stack. The 2 little arrows on the top of that stack. There you go. And now you should be able to click on the.
Cool. Let me bring this down some. So now if I hit layers.
It's all good.
We're looking.
Okay.
We're looking. We're
Okay.
waiting.
Okay.
What up, though? Says Odari. Christine says.
Okay, cool. I
Mine
got it.
bends back
Okay.
halfway. I must be a halfway creative.
Oh. Hey, I can't speak on that. Oh, I like that one. Mine did not turn out that way. Okay. Cool. All right. Thank you for sharing that. Everybody, I want to, over here?
Yeah, you're
Okay.
ready.
Yes. Thank you all for being on this live stream today. I definitely want to say thank you to Wayman for being my first official guest here at the CinaMaker studio. Boop, 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 boop. Thank you, Dan and CinaMaker, for hosting us, and I'm really happy that we can get on the Behance live stream today and draw on these surfaces and make some art happen. So we are using the Sketchable app. And we have had a really great time today. It's been great having this conversation with you. So
Yeah, I appreciate you for having me.
Yeah,
This
thank
was
you.
fun.
Thank you. And I learned a lot too. So I hope you all learned a lot in the chat on Behance. And hopefully we'll see you next time. I go live on Tuesdays at 10 a.m. In the morning, Eastern Standard Time, just doing a free drawing session. So sometimes it's children's illustrations, and sometimes it's some other type of figurative drawing. And then on Thursday nights at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, we come back again for a figure drawing session, and we'll see what we do next week. So, but until then, thank you so much for joining us.
See, that's when you need the outro music where you be like, oh.
Look, we're working on that. We're working on that.